Welcome to another episode of Keep It Movin Podcast. I'm your guest host, Novelty, and I'm hanging with JT.
Hey, I know now. I'm right on it. I'm here.
Wow.
What's
and
going
Mike
on?
B.
What it do? I'm here too. Is that all right? Is that all right?
It's all right.
All right. We're gonna turn it back. We're gonna turn it back over to you, Novelty.
How's everything going this week?
Going on. How did you say that?
Everything going.
Oh, okay.
Good for me. I have no complaints. I actually went. I don't know if I've ever talked about my dental issues. The fact that I started going to the dentist this year.
Yes.
And I still have issues eating after.
No.
I went and got my final dental work done over a month ago, and I was still having trouble eating. But I had to go back this week.
No.
And he hooked me right on up.
No.
And I had to say an extra prayer because I had got some feelings on the right side of my mouth.
Yeah.
And I guess the feelings were too high. So when I was biting down,
What's that mean?
like they were, I don't know what
The
it
feelings
meant.
were too
Like when I was biting down, I was
They didn't put it low enough in the tooth.
yeah, I was pressing, like my teeth were touching, so I was
Yeah.
pressing up my gums. It was just too much.
Yeah.
So I couldn't eat properly. And you know how, like Terrell, my brother likes to eat ribs. My brother likes to eat. I'm realizing that.
He does.
He eats more than me. He loves to eat more than me.
Okay.
But
Seem
I like,
you eat though.
but I couldn't eat my ribs.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I really love. KC, we know about barbecue.
Oh yeah, we eat.
Oh, you saying we know about food? We eat.
Yeah.
But the fact that I couldn't eat my ribs like I wanted to made me feel some type of way. So that's the only reason I decided to go back to the dentist. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to have to check this out. You're going to have to.
eating issue.
Yeah. I mean, I went to the doctor, lost 5 pounds.
No.
And I'm thinking.
did not.
I did. That's a fat joke right there. Well, you
Yeah.
did not. You look the same fat. That's rude as hell. Thanks, Novelty.
you did.
No,
No.
I'm just saying, you really.
Yes.
Matter of fact, you look like you gained 5 pounds.
That's how you came at me.
Yeah.
You did not immediately. Disrespectful if I do say so myself. And I began to think that maybe this is a conspiracy between my doctor and my
Yeah.
dentist. They
No.
both was like, "You are out of control, Mike
Yeah,
B."
you doing
And so
too much.
But they know it's not the food that got you out of control, right?
my doctor does, but my dentist don't. So that's why I think it's a conspiracy. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm halfway home.
Okay.
He hooked me up. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm 2 seconds away from my ribs.
No. What he do?
Filed them down.
Oh, okay.
Filed the feelings.
Did that
down.
hurt?
Nope.
No. I'm pretty sure.
I take it you had feelings filed down too.
No.
Okay, so anyway, moving on. Last week we talked about the SAE chant. Well, just a recap on this. The new news, or the old news, the OU chapter now, instead of saying that they didn't teach the chant, they're saying it was likely learned at a national leadership school that they had about 4 years ago.
Like a conference or something.
Yeah.
It was like the school where you send the leaders, like a little,
Yeah.
like conference or convention, and the leaders are the
Yeah,
ones that
this
decide
is
to
it.
teach you what to teach your local chapter. Teach them this nigga
Oh
song.
yeah.
Like
Said
whose
that
idea?
It wasn't anything they taught, but maybe as a group, somebody got together in one of their free time moments.
Yes.
And
this
decided
what
to
it-
revamp.
and it dispersed.
But again, like you said, these are the leaders.
I wanted
Yeah.
let me hear one of the regular chants, and let me decide. Like I'm sure they probably got some more chants. That got,
that's not pleasing to the ear to black folk.
Exactly. That's I would have called them on the carpet. Like, tell me something. What do y'all sing about?
Is that a saying? Called them on the carpet?
Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
yeah. Call them on the carpet. Put them to the test.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
I've never heard that.
Well, we didn't have TV back in the day.
Here we go.
So we had to come up with everything.
Include that story.
I'm calling you on the carpet.
I'm from the.
Okay.
I'm country though, brother. You should know that.
I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't even know. You can call that country.
Hey, it's my life, and you
That
hating on
sounds
it
like
right
more
now.
like British or something.
They didn't have carpet in Britain.
That's all they got.
That's all they got is carpet. Why do
All
I
they
feel
got
like
is
when you
floor
say
rugs.
carpet, you talking about female cooter bush?
Oh, come on. How did we get there?
Female cooler
Anyway,
sound like you've typed that in the computer before.
it's one of my Google searches. I'm looking for a female cooter bush.
Really?
But tell us about, so they saying that it was likely learned at a national convention. Okay. Which I can kind of believe. Which means more chapters are probably likely out there singing the same song.
Damn song.
Well, I mean, if it was a national convention with all their leaders, then all their leaders are taking it back to the schools
And I guess it's
teaching
up
it
to
somebody.
their leaders to
decide. We ain't singing this shit.
I'm pretty sure it was somebody or a few that they probably didn't say nothing because it's this their fraternity, but they didn't go in and
teach it to the rest of them.
But I know it's them other motherfuckers. I know they out there. They was happy to go back. Look what I done learned.
You guys know if any black people other than the one in Kansas that have said they were with this chapter or with this fraternity?
I don't know. I don't think I know any current members of fraternities, period.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen anything where not one black person has come out and said that.
Oh, you talking about like just nationwide?
Yeah, nationwide.
Okay.
I don't think there's probably that one was like, I guess he that one in this region.
And he just so happened to be in an old picture.
So he's an old one.
Well, I mean, it was an old picture from KU that they have on their site.
What, like class of 86 or something?
Well, you say an old picture.
Well, it might have been this year.
Was it black and white?
Yeah, they got an old picture. I'm like, so.
And it was two members, and there was a white guy and a black guy.
That's
how
like a butterfly collar or something.
It was like 16 people in the picture, but one black guy.
Okay.
No, I haven't heard of any other African American members.
Okay. Anyway, but in the news now, Indiana, the state of Indiana has actually today the governor signed the bill known as SB 101, and it says that state and local government cannot substantially burden a person's religion, including if that burden stems from a rule, unless the government has a compelling interest, and it is the least restrictive means of doing so. Basically, it means if I'm the baker and you the customer, if you come in, I don't have to sell to you if I feel you are encroaching on my religious beliefs. So the LGBT community is kind of taking that personally because a lot of religion at this point is standing in front of gay marriage and anything that has to do with gay people are using religion as the reason not to do. So they're basically feeling like now if they go into a restaurant or a store, then
they can be discriminated
against. I don't have
against.
to sell to you because you're gay, and that's encroaching on my religious beliefs.
I think it's a slippery slope to that. I don't somewhat agree with it. Only because I think
you don't agree with which part the bill that whatever
the bill that passed because I think people are going to take advantage because they're going to feel some type of way. Now I can see now if there is a bill passed in such a way if you're like a minister and like a gay couple wants you to do the service there the ceremony and you don't want to do it. Now, then I think that's valid as far as like a religious reason.
I agree.
That's something that makes sense.
Agree with that.
But as far as, you
got
want to
your
buy,
own business, your own company.
You serving burgers and you feeling some type of way, a gay couple walk in, no.
Not today.
I don't want to serve you because, look at you.
Yeah.
You just look at you. You're wrong.
Okay,
and the truth
what
ain't
then
about
out.
no shoes, no shirt, no service?
Huh?
What about no shoes, no shirt, no service?
I feel like that's different
to me,
because that goes. You're not discriminating against a group of people. Is there people out there that are?
I'm discriminating against the people that don't wear shoes.
I mean, but that's totally different. That makes no sense. I mean, if they don't have shoes and shirts, they can borrow some shoes and some shirts. It's not the same as being. You can't come in if you're black. You can't change anything about that. There's a difference. You can go put on a shirt and come in and do whatever you need to do. But I don't need to see your titties all the time. All titties aren't pleasing to the eye. But I mean, just to be honest, your titties down to your ankles, I don't really need to see that daily.
Okay, but then, like you said, I can go and put on a shirt. I can go
True.
borrow a shirt.
True.
A black person can't change the color of their skin.
True.
But a gay person doesn't have to put it out there that they gay.
But no, my issue with the whole thing is they may be assuming that they're homosexual because of the fact that it's just two women or two guys in the same location at the same time.
So yours is
Are they going
to
ask? I think a lot of these people that are going to be refusing service are going to be making assumptions.
Or it could be just one homosexual.
And the other person is straight.
Just a friend or something, or a brother or sister or a family member.
Yeah.
And and they just assume that they're a couple.
Because I mean, there's not like a tattoo, or maybe there is a tattoo, but there's not like a brand that people get on their foreheads or whatever saying like I'm homosexual. Yeah. So you would have to base it off your assumption or because of their actions or because of the way they sound or because of something.
Or
I'm sure they don't they don't just go out saying I'm homosexual. Nothing. Usually, I haven't seen that.
They out there.
I mean, there are some that are flamboyant, but you still can't just assume because they're acting effeminate that they are homosexual. So I think, like you said, it's a slippery slope.
I think it's a very slippery slope. I think to the issue of putting religion and gay in the same line of fire, using religion to say I don't want to deal with someone, that in itself is a slippery slope. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I can understand, using religion to combat, homosexuality, because that's what people are doing. I don't think that your religion has anything to do with this business. Yeah. No, you're baking cakes. You're baking cakes. But, it has nothing to do. Are you baking religious cakes? Like, are they Jesus cakes?
Maybe
well, then that's a difference.
As a business owner, it's my company. I have the right to sell to who I want to, regardless. As a business owner,
you also have the right to be sued for discrimination, and that's why you have insurance. Because it will happen.
But I mean that you can't, and no government can force me as a business to do what I don't. Otherwise,
True.
It's my business. I own it for a reason.
I agree.
You use religion to combat homosexuality. It's just like back in the day, they used religion to sit up and say that black people were supposed to be slaves.
I can hear you.
I can get it out. Titus chapter 2, verse 9. Tell slaves to be submissive to their masters and to give satisfaction in every respect. That's in the Bible.
But does it say that these slaves are black?
Okay, no. But just as Leviticus chapter 18, verse 22, you shall
come
not
on with
lie.
the Bible scriptures. Come on.
You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination. To me, both verses can be taken out of context, and they can be taken, and slaves can mean black people because we were slaves at that time.
But I'm saying it doesn't specifically say black people, but it does say laying with a male as you do with a woman.
It doesn't specifically say black people, but it says slaves. It talks of slaves.
But I feel like that's your mentality. They're just assuming that, black people were supposed to be slaves.
No, that was the mentality.
We were enslaved.
That was what white people used to justify this enslavement of people, period.
I feel like if you got power, period, then I don't know if they necessarily needed a scripture in order to make them do what they wanted to do.
The people in power didn't, but to get everybody else to go along with it. What about the people that weren't in power? I mean, excuse me, but there have been white people that have had nothing and lived off the government dime since the government became a reality, just as well as there have been black people. Mm-hmm. So they had to get those white people to go along with them. So they used things to get them to agree and get them to believe. And that was one of the scriptures in the Bible they used to get them to believe. Mm-hmm. The Bible specifically talks about a man and a woman laying down and creating life. But what about just being two people? You and I are friends. I love you as a friend. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't love you no other way, but I love you as a friend. But there are two people that can just be friends and be really close and love each other and protect each other and take care of each other. That's really almost identical to homosexuality. You and I can be close. We can even be intimate with each other. What if we don't want children? What if I am with you and I don't want kids? We have no reason to.
Aside from the fact that the Bible speaks against fornication, unless you're talking about intimacy a different type of way.
I'm talking about intimacy on every level.
Including sex?
Yeah, including sex.
Okay.
Now, yeah.
The Bible speaks against that.
Yes, it speaks against that outside of marriage, period.
Right.
We do
I
that.
agree. I didn't.
So, but
we're still wrong.
No,
it's not okay. It's wrong.
No, but do you
it's
see
accepted.
people telling you
it's
that
accepted.
you can't come into my business because you was over sleeping with Charlie last night? No.
If Charlie's wife might say, you know.
But my point is,
she own the business.
Yeah, if that's her business, then she might say that, and she's refusing service.
Using religion against homosexuality is wrong, just like using religion against slavery is wrong.
But I can understand where you're coming from, but you also have to remember that the Bible and religion is supposed to be our instructions on how to live.
But the Bible is still, the original Bible was not written in English, was not written in any language that we would understand today. Someone has to interpret that for you, and their interpretation is not always going to be like the original. And it's still their interpretation. It's someone's interpretation. And until the person that wrote the Bible, well, which is God, says otherwise, I can't believe you over anything else. Because it's still your belief in what you think, my belief in what I think. I believe one way, you believe another. We can take the same sentence and take it two different ways.
True.
So, again, to use the Bible against in any way of hatred, because the way it's being used against homosexuals is hatred.
Is it the way it's being used or the way people are
perceiving it, taking it, using it, all of it, interpreting it?
No, because you can interpret the Bible any type of way. It's your actions that you do after that. That's on you because of what you believe in the Bible. I don't think it's the Bible that's telling you to go and beat this person, kill this person. You know what I mean?
The Bible is saying one thing, but you and I are going to interpret what it's saying as two different things.
But our interpretation don't always mean that we have to act on it.
But
that's the difference.
No, we don't have to act on it, but people do act on it.
Okay.
Just like the business owner that says, I'm not going to sell to this guy and this guy because I think they're gay. His interpretation of that Bible is making him act on it. And so now we've got a law in place that is going to protect him.
In Indiana?
No.
I thought you said it was Indiana.
This particular law is Indiana, but this particular law is only coming out because of its timing. This law is written on the books in 20 other states. This is a law. It's just the Religious Act
so
law.
Other companies are just not following through.
The law itself is not about homosexuality. The law is about religion. You have the right and the freedom to express your religion, and no one can infringe on that, including the federal government. The law itself is fine. It is what, again, we do with the law. Just like the Bible verse. It says one thing, but how we interpret that and utilize that is going to be a whole nother. And that's what they're worried about. The law is not the issue. It's going to be when that law comes into question and they are taking these businesses to court because they feel like they're being discriminated against.
Because
this law is going to be protected. They might not be. Who knows?
How? Okay. We'll just go back and forth.
Everything is hypothetical.
Yeah.
Everything is hypothetical. The law simply states you have the right to practice your religion in any way you see fit in your business. You have freedom of religion. If you feel like this group is doing something against your religious beliefs, you do not have to sell to them. That's the law. This is a freedom of religion law. It is based off of the Constitution. Clinton signed the federal one in the law in 1993. It's there. It's on the books in 20 states now. It's about what people feel is going to happen with the law. Just like Zimmerman, the law in Florida, stand your ground law. You got the right to stand your ground. Yes, you do. But how is it interpreted? Just you got the right to stand your ground, but you don't have the right to come over here and pick on me and shoot me and kill me when I haven't done anything. But yet he stood behind the stand your ground law, and this fool's out around acting stupid now. It's the interpretation of the law, just like the interpretation of the Bible. That's where the issue is going to be.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I think it just comes down to each situation. I think, since it is a law now, and, or the bill has been passed, I think they just gonna deal with it in a court issue if somebody has a problem with it or feeling discriminated against.
Yeah, on a case by case basis.
That's when you have, you better get you a good lawyer who's gonna prove otherwise.
Right.
This is America. You can't go to a court of law, and so, you better get you a good lawyer if if now that bill is passed, and the person that has that religious freedom is protected by the law. Now it's your turn to prove that I've been discriminated against. And that's with feelings aside, that's where it's going to end up. Because that's the bottom line. You can scream and all that and shit, but when something is a law, unless you try to be a congressman and try to change some shit,
which they don't.
Nope. And so you better get you a lawyer, because now that they passed it. And plus, I don't think anything's really going to change with that. I think it's just a hot topic now. But since you said it was like 20 other, it's been on the books of 20 other states. So
it seems like it's something. It seems like something that somebody was decided to try and pass in order to get reelected. Even though it's something that's already been in practice in other places. It sounds like something that people want to hear. They'll gravitate to, especially, when I'm trying to get my religious people on board, then they feel like it's something fresh. Yeah. And so they'll be more likely to.
But this is just, this is a remix.
Yeah.
You came out, somebody else had that song a few years ago. Right. She said Bill Clinton signed something in 93, 94.
Well, Clinton signed the Religious Freedom Act.
Yeah.
In 1993. But, it's when you read the law, it is basically you have the right to not sell if it's against your religion. It's protecting a business's religious freedom. I do know Hobby Lobby is very Christian. 100% Christian. So one of their issues with the healthcare law was they didn't want to provide birth control. In any way. They didn't want to do it. So they had a major issue with it. CVS's big stand is cigarettes. They don't sell them in their stores anymore because they feel like cigarettes kill. So they stopped. As a business, you should have the right to make those decisions, and no consumer should be able to force you to change that otherwise. But people are saying that the racist, the hatred it's going to hide behind this bill. That is what they're worried about.
Right. Well, that's understandable.
Yeah.
So
that's what I said. That's when you get a good lawyer. Because you wrong now at this point. And you got to prove that. And unfortunately, in a court of law. Hopefully, you ain't got no people that don't like gay folk on your jury.
Anyway, so German Wings, the co-pilot. Well, they saying that he was having eye problems, which, as a pilot, you got to be able to see. But he had eye issues, and he covered that up, and technically he was not fit to fly.
So, well, before you're, I don't think we know what you're talking about. You didn't. You didn't tell us about the original issue.
the crane clash.
German wings.
Yeah.
The plane
Like it's our third
crash.
episode on
Yes.
this.
On the same thing. No,
the
this is
plane-
new. This is fresh.
Anyway, the plane crash that happened here recently.
Mm-hmm.
The German plane that went down,
Mm-hmm.
It was
killed
like,
about 100 people.
yeah.
It was German wings. The co-pilot, they are saying that he had eye issues and he shouldn't have been flying. He was not fit to fly. And he was also being treated for psychological issues and
Like-
depression.
Like
So
he was
he
having
couldn't
some problems
see and
at home.
depressed.
Yeah, so they're basically
God
saying
damn.
that he
That's like
did it on purpose.
the opposite of what you want your pilot to have.
Eye
He's
problems.
quite- and depressed.
And depressed.
That ain't a
And
good
psychological issues.
thing. That's depression. That's part of it.
No. See, this is part of the reason that I don't like to fly. You know, that's what you know what I need to do? I need to get my pilot's license. So just in case I can go and I can help fly the plane. Even though they had another pilot who couldn't get back into the cockpit.
Yeah. The captain.
I would have got in.
Captain.
I would have got in. You know,
okay.
I would have got
How?
back in.
You would have got your
How?
passenger
I can't
57
see
home.
if I say no. I don't want to be on the no-fly zone, the no-fly
Okay.
list, telling y'all how to get on the damn in the
They
cockpit.
just put you on the no-fly list.
But no, my fear is shit like this. That seems to always happen. Planes disappearing, planes getting shot down, and now a plane crashed on purpose.
What one in the plane like recently in America where the wheel didn't come down?
Don't tell me that.
Like wasn't that like 2 weeks ago?
There
You don't
was
remember that? And,
there
like,
was an issue. I don't
and,
remember what it was, but there
and
was
they-
an issue. But
like they
they
clapped
survived.
and everything. You know, yeah,
What did that mean? They clapped.
because they was
they
alive. I
Oh, the passengers clapped.
would have
I'm
praise
thinking
and
you talking
worship
about
on
the.
that plane.
I'm thinking talking
Are
about the
you kidding me?
wheels clapped. I'm
Oh,
trying to
no.
understand what you're talking about.
No, it wouldn't come all the way down or something, and so when it hit the runway, it didn't. The plane didn't do what it was supposed to do. It just kept going and going until it ran.
How did they stop?
Did it run into a hangar? Or something?
Yeah, I think like the defense mechanisms
It
down
ran
there they
into
have
something.
on the.
All right, I didn't know they had defense mechanisms. Thank God
They
for
have
that.
like wire ropes and stuff to like stop.
it
and
ran
all,
into
and
I
it's
didn't
like
know
they
that.
got like kind of
Ramp.
yeah.
Oh, I thought it
or
ran
hill.
into a wall or something.
I don't know what it ran into. I'm just
He's talking
saying
about
I
the
know
other
what-
defense
yeah,
mechanism.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, they could have. I know that they was safe.
and they made it off alive.
Because they was-
Shoot,
They was clapping
that would have been
and
my
shit.
last time on it. Like God, you know that song say God is trying to tell you something.
You remember? Hey, I was on the airplane by myself. You remember that story?
I don't remember.
Did it crash?
Remember?
No.
The 9/11 time.
Oh,
Yes.
I think you mentioned it, but
Yeah.
you gotta
You wanna share?
yeah, you have to share now.
I ain't got to share.
You brought it up.
I ain't got to. Well, you know, I was
No,
on
we
the plane
don't.
by myself. Then.
Are you kidding me?
was-
Okay, I
leave it
want
to wonder.
everybody to comment on that.
Maybe I'll share with you another time.
Okay, so Monet Davis, she's the 13-year-old Little League World Series pitcher. She earned her spot in history when she pitched a shutout.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that's pitched a game with nobody getting a hit off of her.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, you know me in sports.
Yeah, you know I couldn't say shit.
Yeah, I'm looking
I'm
at
like,
you. You're just like,
and JT acting like he ain't want to say nothing.
Yeah, because I saw her just look at you. I'm like, I don't know.
So here was what was tweeted after Disney announced their plans to produce a movie based on her life. What a joke. That slut got rocked by Nevada.
And so people were up in arms because that whoever called her a slut.
Well, yeah, people have been upset. People have been talking about it. People have been screaming, yelling about it. And everybody, of course, has their opinion. But I loved the 13-year-old's response, which was, everyone makes mistakes and everyone deserves a second chance. I know right now he's really hurt, and I know how hard he worked to get where he is. I mean, I'm pretty hurt on my part, but I know he's hurting even more.
Who is he?
The
dude
person
that
who
made
tweeted
this
okay.
slut
yeah.
comment.
I don't want to give him a name.
He was like wasn't he like a baseball player and like AAA. No, college. Was it college or?
I don't want to give him a name because I don't want to give him any press.
No, I'm
talking
talking
about the stats.
Who
is he?
Like you already at a 10. I don't want to say his name.
I don't want to give
You didn't
him a
hear
name.
nothing I said.
Fuck
I
him.
said. I mean, any like college or like or is he like in AAA or
University baseball.
something? Okay. Yeah, I heard they dismissed him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because that's real disrespectful.
Yeah, that's rude.
People were trying to, say it was a black-white thing, but I'm like, he called her.
I think that's
I think
something.
he
I
was
think he
hurt.
says something. I think he says slut, like period. That's what he says.
Yeah,
for,
slut.
For I mean, it's sad that he says it for 13-year-old girls.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
He didn't,
females in general, I just
there
think
are
that's
guys
something,
out there who
you know,
that's their vernacular.
and he put the fingers on the phone and said what he and typed what he thought was on his mind,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you got. You got to live with it.
Yeah,
brother.
when you put it out into the Twitterverse or the social
Yeah.
media period,
We
somebody
know.
gonna see it.
We got you now.
You put it out there for somebody to see.
You forever. You gonna be in the Disney movie now.
You know what?
Yeah,
Probably
you part.
will.
He wanted a part in that movie.
That's
He said,
what
I
it was.
really probably ain't gonna have no baseball career. And so,
So this is what
let
I
me get
gotta
in.
do.
Yeah, have some type of stardom. He could write a book
Cold what?
and probably in about
Oh,
5
what?
years
She
or
a slut?
something. Hey, just off of that, especially if she blow up.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the way she handled it. At 13, I think she handled it very good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
she
that was
she
that
got
was
a head on her shoulder, like when they was interviewing her, when they was playing and stuff. She
seemed like she knew words and she seemed like she was
She knew
educated.
words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she didn't go up there talking like oh I did just talking real kind of ratchet.
I would have
and
turned it off.
She talked like she
Know
was
how
educated.
Old white people look at you and say you speak so well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's just how she knew words sounded.
she did know
Yeah,
words.
she know words.
And she did speak well.
Yeah, she was very articulate.
I could have said she spoke white, but that's I cleaned it up.
Moving on. Raven-Symone.
She talked Caucasian.
Raven-Symone. She said she never said she wasn't black. She said she wasn't African American.
Oh, this is from the interview she did with was it Oprah or who was she talking with?
She was talking to was it ETV?
It was
No, I'm talking about because of her original
interview.
interview.
It was with Oprah.
It was Oprah.
Yeah.
And she was saying how she didn't want to be labeled. And like she didn't want to be African American. She also didn't want to be labeled as like a lesbian or whatever. A lot of people were saying a lot of people at that point when she was, giving that initial interview were thinking that she just tried to denounce her being black because she didn't want people to call her a lesbian. But I guess now she's clearing it up.
This is way more than I understand what she's trying to say.
I'm saying, but this is the clear up. I'm talking about when she initially said it.
This is supposed to be the clear up?
Yes, she's clearing up because people.
I heard she was supposed to be clearing it up, but fucked it up.
Yeah, she messed
That's
it up.
that's what I heard.
That's what this is.
Thank you to Ancestry.com for sending me my DNA test. I am from every continent in Africa except for one, and I am from every continent in Europe except for one. It's only 7 continents.
Every continent in Africa. I think I gave her too much credit.
That's where she messed up.
So okay, let's understand that. Okay, she just got a little geography terms, continent, country. They can be a little confusing. She got them mixed up. She was on the spot. She's trying to clean herself up. She's a little nervous. Okay,
she's a star. She's a celebrity. She's not brand new.
She put her foot in her mouth, and she's trying to clean it up.
Who's her publicist?
Let's just say she's a little nervous, okay? If we can forgive Sarah Palin, we can forgive...
Who forgave her?
Who forgave
Nobody
Sarah
at this table?
Where is she, goddammit? I seen her daughter more than her. Her daughter is...
She hot?
She goes on to say we are a melting pot of beauty. We have to embrace the different cultures we have. So basically, she's trying to say, I'm not just black. I'm a lot of different things. Do not...
That's your interpretation.
No, this is her interpretation.
I'm saying you're interpreting her words.
Okay, well then let me finish.
You said she's trying to say...
Okay, then let me finish. And if you don't, we're still going to have these problems that are blasting up everywhere. And call me a hippie, call me a free thinker, call me someone that's looking for a better life. But I want to be in a better world. We have to embrace the different cultures we have. Those are her words.
But people's issue with what she said initially was that the fact that you are successful, you've made it, you are an African American, people look up to you.
You don't understand what I'm trying to do right here.
I don't understand what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to help this baby out and explain, okay?
Mike ain't
I'm a bag of Skittles. I am Black, Irish, Mexican, Indian, Caucasian, and African American. That is my makeup. That is I'm from everywhere. And that's what she's saying. She's a bag of Skittles, so to speak. You cannot just ask her to say she's black, because she's not just black. She is a lot of different
Maybe
things.
You should have seen what she said initially.
I saw what she said initially. I'm understanding where she's coming from. She's truly just saying, I'm a makeup of a lot of different things. I don't want to be pigeonholed as black. The problem is she says she's not African American, and unfortunately, she was born in America. That makes her African American as well. And that's the part she's not missing. And we as black people, automatically, if you got a little drip of black in you, you're black. And we say that not because of something that we always felt, because of something that society has taught us. We have always been black. When I was in college, there was the BAU. When the man came down to me, you black, and you got to stand up for this, and you got to feel this way. And I had to tell him, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm black, but my grandmother's white. I'm black, but I got another grandmother that's Irish. I'm black, but I got Indian. I am more than just black. That's what she's saying. I'm more than just a black person. She is just denouncing that she's African American. And I think that's the big problem. Go forth, Michael.
Well, you said all that just to get back to what I was saying. I don't understand that's what I was saying. You know, that's what people had a problem with. The fact that she was saying that she didn't want to acknowledge her African American.
That's what I was pissed off about.
Yeah, and a lot of other people
I thought
were
you were saying black, because she is saying
no.
Okay.
I didn't. I wasn't gonna call her black.
Okay,
I said she was African American.
I thought that's where you were going.
So once again, you interpreted.
Yeah, I interpreted you to go in a place where you normally go, but you didn't.
Because I remembered the story.
Okay. Oh.
She wasn't trying to live.
She wasn't. It's okay though. She tried to clear it up.
She tried to clear it up, and she just kind of put her foot in her mouth. That's all. She just made a. But
I believe
mistake.
Black America is over. Raven-Symoné. Period.
You might be right.
I mean, she was on Empire. You know, the TV show. Yeah, she was on there for about 2-3 episodes.
For real?
And everybody, they was like, you know, it's good to see her, but we ain't forgot.
Yeah.
That's how they were. We ain't forgot. Because, I mean,
she don't have to, like,
well, I don't even
something.
think she realizes what she's saying when she says she's not African American. I think and this is my interpretation, I think that she's just thinking she's not this African American that white folks have created, this stereotypical, this is who I am, I think she is just trying to say, I'm not this one little person. But even we as Black Americans forget we are still American. Yeah, my ancestry is from here and here and here, but we are still Americans. As long as we're born in this country, we're Americans.
I can understand that.
I mean, some black people are not proud of that.
It adds fuel to the fire that a lot of people have, like especially like black women. You know, you have this black girl you look up to, you know, she's successful, and then as soon as she makes it, she wants to forget where she came from. The same, like you see a lot of black athletes, they make it, but then they get with a white woman. You know, they have that same feeling towards what she said as they have towards that situation. You know what I mean?
White means making it.
Hey, and now you know, I'm not African American. You know, it just makes people feel some type of way when the African Americans are sitting here proud of you for being successful and not being a ratchet, not being you're educated. You are a success story for African Americans, and now you don't give a damn about it.
You don't want to associate yourself, with coming up,
with the struggle.
Yeah.
And maybe she never had the struggle. I don't know her life like that.
You wasn't on a TV show with Indians, white folk.
You was on with niggas.
Yeah, that made you
Oh,
popular.
I was like, Indians, where are you going?
Yeah, well, he talking about the
I had a
Cosby
little
Show.
trouble following you there for a minute.
But you know, we look at that, and it makes there are young women out there who might look at themselves as African American that look up to her and say, "Look how good she turned out."
Mm-hmm.
And then to hear her say something like that, to where she pretty much doesn't like who she is. It seems like didn't like who she was, doesn't want to accept who she is. Then maybe there's something wrong with me as an African American.
I think by the time she get in her 40s,
she gonna be black again.
She'll be all right.
All right.
Well, I'm denouncing being African American right now.
Warped, so I believe.
No,
she want to be all right.
I'm not an African American. I am an American.
Okay.
I am also of African descent. I am of Irish descent, Mexican descent, Indian descent. I am not an African American. I am an American. That is what I'm denouncing. Why is it that we can't?
Why can't you say I'm African American and?
Because why, as a country, are we over here saying I'm African American? You don't see European Africans going, I'm African European. They just say I'm European. I'm British.
Where are they at? Are they in
Britain
Europe?
and Europe? Yes, They don't say that. It is only here where we split our. It's only here in this country where we split ourselves up into little freaking groups, and that's part of the problem. So no, I'm not in a group like that. I am an American. I am of American descent.
I feel like we had this conversation. Was this all with Sean?
With Sean.
Okay. This is probably when we initially talked about the Raven-Symone situation, and we pretty much denounced Sean. And now, you consider yourself.
But no, seriously,
I ain't really seen.
We understand
and the politically correctness of it all. Why do we have to be everybody here in this country, for the most part, that is American, is American. Everybody that was born here is an American.
But we know that.
That goes without saying.
Why do we have to go with I'm African American, I'm Caucasian American, I'm Mexican American? Why do we have to do that?
Because this country decided to do that.
Right, but that's my point. We are the only country that does that.
We also the only country with running water.
That is not true.
You got a problem with that?
You got to leave the United States once in your life. It rains in Africa.
System.
Africa has plumbing systems. They have big, beautiful buildings and big cities.
In a
and
particular part of town.
They got cars, too.
That's what you say.
Yeah.
I know they got animals.
They
got lions and
tigers. They got suburbs. That's where the tigers are.
Oh my goodness!
Okay, that's the suburbs.
Probably in the zoo too.
I'm gonna say good night now, and I'm gonna thank everyone for joining us again for this lovely episode of Keep It Movin Podcast. Thank you, and I'm gonna thank my two gentlemen cohorts here.
You welcome.
And pray for salvation.
You need it.
I'm already saved.
Check us out on the internet. You can get us on Twitter, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, Keep It Movin Podcast, or check us out at keepitmovinpodcast.com. Thank you for tuning in, and good night.
Peace. Oh, good Lord. Miss I Ain't Black.